So, the second episode of season 2 of House of the Dragon came out this weekend, and I've decided I want to talk about it. Does this mean I'm going to be reviewing the whole season? Um, Maybe. We'll see. If that should be the case, expect videos coming out on Friday henceforth, since I can't collect my thoughts and film and edit and upload a whole video in only the handful of hours between Sunday night and Monday afternoon. A man needs to sleep, and I'm still working on my own fantasy series every day. So, yeah, spoilers ahead. But again, you probably knew that already. Episode 2 was excellent, I thought, following the aftermath of the blood and cheese incident, in which we see the Greens in various stages of mourning. Aegon has lost his mind and destroyed King Viserys? Viserys's scale model of Old Valyria. The worst crime Aegon has committed so far, in my opinion. I'm joking. That's a joke. Alicent is obviously distraught, and I think that the scene in which we see her right after the incident is quite interesting, as it might show she actually might love her children and grandchildren and have obviously genuine affection for them, but is just so emotionally traumatized that she doesn't know how to properly interact or relate with them. So she retreats to her boy toy, Kristen Cole, and she hides herself from the world, hides in the church. She's still kind of young, and arguably she's suffered enough trauma already that she might be sort of stuck in the mind of the frightened teenager she was when the show started. Um, Otto, by the way, is just being a jerk. But he's a complicated jerk, and I think he I think the death has affected him, but not nearly to the extent that perhaps it should. He is almost immediately on the whole. We can use this for our own gain. We can use this as propaganda against Rhaenyra, and I think that's a good plan, especially if perhaps vengeance is on his mind. And from a technical point of view, it's a very clever maneuver. Otto is smart, and in a way I don't think most people give him credit for. Everyone goes on and on about how like Tywin Lannister was some sort of genius, but Tywin was ruthless and hated, and he had a bunch of idiot, egotistical children, and they eventually got him killed. Otto is much more savvy and uh, and clever, I think, than Tywin, despite having an arguably more chaotic team to wrangle. And I honestly think it shows. Uh, Kristen Cole is also proving himself to be somewhat devious and kind of uh, kind of an idiot, actually. He reminds me, interestingly enough, of Cersei in many ways, having this low cunning, this sort of savvy, while believing he's a lot smarter than he actually is. He's more of an agent of chaos than anything. Credit where credit is due. The actor is just doing an amazing job of portraying him, and I'm looking forward desperately to seeing Kristen Cole's fall from grace. Uh, Aemond, possibly my favorite character on the show, is off being uh, weird. I think the stress might be getting to him a bit. Perhaps he feels somewhat remorseful for having killed his nephew, especially since it led to the blood and cheese incident, which killed his other nephew, I think. Um, but that Witcher Elric prick that he is, he's really driving to make himself the strangest, weirdest character on the show, and we still have Laris hanging around. I mean, come to think of it, we don't see much of Laris this episode, and I'm sure that means he's up to no good. Uh, and meanwhile, Rhaenyra is furious over the murder, freaking out that it happened and that they're blaming her for it. And obviously, that leads to her marital strife with Daemon finally coming to a head. They have a full-blown shouting match, ending with Daemon, the mother-loving psychopath that he is, heading off to take Harrenhal basically by himself. Um, just like he did with the Stepstones, really. Now, I mean, it's maybe that's what he does to cool off. If he has a fight with someone, he goes and he on his dragon and kills a boatload of people. Uh, it would be fitting for the character, I think. Um, the whole family is obviously stressed out and in mourning, and we do get this great scene with Jace and Rhaena, I think her name is. All the Targaryen names again. But they're talking about their parents and about Jace's real dad, Harwin Breakbones. It's a really kind of cute scene. And made even cooler by the fact that Jace has got some serious effing style. I mean, the red cape thing and the cool doublet. He looks like a George R. R. Martin character. For that matter, so does Aemond and Daemon, and in a weird way, Otto a little bit. But what am I forgetting? Oh, well, there is the genius maneuver enacted by Sir Criston, in which he sends one of the twin Kingsguard knights. One went over to Rhaenyra and the other stayed behind in King's Landing. Um, Criston sends the one brother to pretend to be the other to try and kill Rhaenyra. It goes about as well as you'd expect, actually, with one brother killing the other and then killing himself out of grief. But my favorite moment in the episode, perhaps, is when Criston and Aegon tell Otto about this really bad plan. It's a bad plan, and Otto is he's kind of a villain. He's a villain. I'm not gonna lie, but I have never felt more sympathetic for a character than when he just freaking loses his mind over this. I think he says like my gods or dear gods or something, and then he just goes off on how Aegon and Criston are both idiots. Now that little tangent does get him fired. He's no longer Hand of the King, unfortunately for them, I think. But we really do see in that scene how Otto's mind works. And also a little bit how he really did have respect for King Viserys and seems to miss him, seems to miss his best friend. Um, but he also guessed correctly that Viserys never wanted Aegon on the throne. So I'm not sure what Otto's motivations really are here. He's ambitious, yes, but I do think he's much smarter than say Tywin, and I think he's also much less evil than Tywin Lannister. It feels like Tywin would have made similar brutal and unnecessary decisions to those made by Criston and Aegon, especially Book Tywin, who the whole point was that uh, he was not nearly the super genius and vulnerable warlord that he wanted everyone to think that he was. He was much more closer to Tyrion and Cersei, but I digress. Uh, you might notice how I haven't mentioned Helena, and that's because the poor woman does not want to be seen or heard nor talked about, and I'm more than happy to let the woman grieve in peace, unlike the rest of the realm. But seriously, her actress is just phenomenal. I love the character. I hope she has some good things coming, but I don't think so because, as I've said before, I am sort of familiar with how Fire and Blood goes. But that that is the episode. It was great. I liked it a lot. I like where the story's going. It ended sort of not quite with the bang that the first episode did, but that's fine. It's setting things up. I like where it's going. Uh, but yeah, I very much enjoyed it. Uh, and if you liked this video, make sure to like and subscribe and hit the bell icon to always know when I upload new videos. I'm probably going to be reviewing House of the Dragon for a while. So, yeah, until then, bye.